No, yeah.
All right, minutes from last month. Jeff accepted motions to accept the minutes from August, and Tony Smith seconds. The water report was read. Police report by Troy, issues with a suspicious subject uptown. He was checked out and cleared. He was not a threat. The ordinance, salary ordinance for 2025-07 was passed. The attorney lease agreement with Scott Craig was approved for $42,500. The bond attorney agreement was approved, ranging from $380 to $595 per hour for services rendered. The water maintenance improvement plan for the 10 years was read and approved. I'm not going to go over all the public comments that were read or that were given. Ordinance 2025-5 was passed. An ordinance establishing rates and charges for the use of the services rendered by the waterworks utility of the town of Perrysville. That phase 1, the new water bill is $79.85 plus tax, starting immediately in October. Phase 2 is $98, and that will start in July of 2026.
Go ahead.
Okay.
I just wanted to check in.
Ordinance 2025-6, ordinance concerning the construction of certain additions, extensions, and improvements of the municipal waterworks of the town of Perrysville was passed. The contractors for the project was passed. The contractor for the tower was Caldwell Tanks, and the drainage is
B&T drainage is for the remaining. B&T
is the remaining everything else. With other business, town residents wants to know if there is any money to take care of the cats in town. The marshal replies that there is nowhere to take them if they were caught. Other town residents replies that she's on the board, and I didn't catch her name, that's why I said another town resident replies that she's on the board of the animal shelter, and it is full, but they are running a deal where someone could take them to get them fixed. Town resident states the weeds are overgrown on Locust Street, cannot see the stop sign. Another town resident wants to know if the town could put stop signs on North Clay Street and Water Street. And town resident requests that we get more welcome signs, welcome to Perrysville signs near the new tower on Old 63 and on Old 63. With no further business, the meeting was adjourned.
I'll motion to accept.
Second.
All in favor? Okay, let's we'll go over a couple things in there real quick. First, water report for October. The average daily usage for September was 52,000 gallons. Still have some water tests due before the end of the year. All tests taken so far have been satisfactory. Treatment plant is running like it should, nothing else to report. I'll elaborate a little bit on this. We did have a little bit of an issue this week with the water quality along Jackson. We had to open a couple hydrants. I ended up opening 3 hydrants. We think what happened was the water tower was low and there was a fire. Well, there's been a lot of fires. And they drew off water, and it basically, we sucked the bottom of the tank. And it pulled a lot of rust into our system.
Yeah.
So if you're down that direction past the tower, the water got real bad. I kind of wish some people had maybe messaged us quicker. I ended up, resident caught me and said, hey, my water's bad, but my neighbor's isn't. And so it took a couple days before we figured out that no, everybody's was having problems. And so I started opening hydrants, and I can show you the pictures. It was the nastiest thing I've ever seen. It started out the crystal clear water, and then it was nasty. Worse than your tea there, color. I mean, it was worst I've ever seen. Ran it till it got fairly clear. We're going to have the hydrants, the entire system, hopefully flushed this week. We've been waiting on a company to come do it for us, but we're gonna just pay a couple guys to do it ourselves. Biggest thing is we gotta get time with Mike, and we've gotta fill the tower all the way to the brim, shut the pumps off, and then we can only do so many at a time because that drains the tower down too far. So with our limited supply and our bad system, we can't flush it all at once like we need to. So we're gonna do what we can, kind of Band-Aid fix as much as we can. You know, work with what you have. So we'll try to put out an announcement when we know when it's gonna happen, so that everybody can be prepared, because it is going, if it's done right, your water will be nasty. At least in the affected areas, because it should break it up. The biggest problem is, like I said, we can't do it all at once, so we get the nasty started flowing, and then it settles out the next day, and you start all over. So
I think it's starting to show a little bit on Walnut, because I noticed it today in the shop. So
yeah, it was headed that direction.
it's a dead end, so I noticed it's working its way that way. Because I ran water out in the shop today, filling the sink, and it wasn't as bad as mom's, but it was getting there.
Yeah, I took a water bottle and just filled it real quick off the hydrant, and it literally, once it settled out, was a 1/4 inch of rust in the bottom of the water bottle.
Yeah, it's starting to smell on that end too. So
Yeah, and it's gonna just keep rolling around, and it will eventually just settle out down there at the end of Walnut.
yeah.
So, like I said, we'll do what we can as far as that goes. Let's see. Stop signs. We have stop signs. We don't have posts, but we have stop signs. I don't think we could put a post in the ground currently. It is so hard right now. We need to get some moisture in the ground. You know, we have a hand driver. So once we get some moisture, we'll pick up a couple posts, and we'll put a couple stop signs. We're looking at, I'm gonna try to remember this. It was Locust on Clay and Star and Water is where we'll put the signs. That's approximately halfway points. If people pay attention to them, one second. If people pay attention to them, it should slow people down. But we know how people they blow the 4-way out here. Yes?
I understand they're halfway, but is there any chance of moving that down to Clay and Adams?
You know, that was my first thought, was Clay and Adams. It really was.
I wouldn't be opposed to having one of both. Well,
I'm-
and the only reason I say that is because the amount of kids.
that
That was
was
right there at Adams Street.
that was my exact thought. I mean, and we haven't put them in the ground yet.
Would anybody have a problem with one of both?
No.
I wouldn't. I live on Clay and Adams, so.
I'd like one right here too.
Oh, by your house?
Yeah, people drive that so fast. They're just Indy track.
So I like Clay and Adams because I went through there, and it's kind of, being a little bit of a hill, it's kind of hard to see, and people fly.
And that's a school bus stop too, so.
Is there one there? I
Yeah.
wasn't
No,
aware of that.
There's one there, there's one, right in front of our house on Clay.
See, I knew about that one. That's why I was thinking of that one. I didn't know there was also one at Adams.
Yeah. There's 2 buses, they get on the later bus.
We need 2 more signs.
We need 2 more.
Yeah.
How much were they? They were like $60.
60, I think.
Yeah.
They're pretty cheap.
Yeah, I did a little bit of shopping around. It was like, Uline was like $100. The sign place was like 60. So, okay. And then the other thing was the welcome signs. We have those. We've actually had those for quite a while. And the biggest problem is finding a place, because where we'd really like to put them is on the state route, but you can't put them along the state route because the state owns it. But I'm thinking we might talk to the elevator about putting one right beside, he's got a little corner spot that we might be able to put one in. I was looking at it this weekend. And in my interaction with him, he's been a really nice guy, so I'm thinking he might be willing to do that. Especially, they're nice signs. All right, into the one fun item we have here, and I do say that was a little bit facetious. The budget. This is as read at the last meeting. I'll just quickly run through it. General fund 67,000. $754. Local road and streets, $6,500. Motor vehicle highways, $25,500. Cumulative capital improvements, $15,000. Public safety, $19,792. Economic development, $3,000. This is unchanged from last year. It's the same as the 2025 budget. Any public comment toward it?
Is there any breakdown on exactly what the plan is on each of them?
No, it's literally just
Well,
That's it,
on
that's it.
the general fund, it's broken down to like office supplies, legal services, insurance,
Softwares.
phone and internet, trash, things like that. Under local roads and streets is like maintenance and supplies, and then to hire somebody to do, if we have to hire a contractor or something to do some work. And same with motor vehicle highway. Cum cap is a miscellaneous account. You can use whatever you want on that. Public safety is to pay the marshal to upkeep the cop car, so you have a maintenance fee account code for that. And then economic development is kind of used for whatever business related within the town.
Okay.
So it is broken down, but as a general, that's what we'll be spending out of that fund.
all right. I will motion to accept them.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Speaking of the highway, you'll notice Jackson was paid by the county. The town went ahead and paid. They were only going to pave the lanes. We found out, and there was going to be a 4-inch, drop down. So we paid to have from the lanes to the sidewalk paved. And then I went through and did all the lining and striping. Then the post office asked if we could line and stripe down there, so I went down and lined and striped for her. So, I mean, yeah, just mainly just for looks more than anything.
People park this way, that way, and sideways, and everything else, maybe that'll help.
I saw Lisa parked across the lines last night when I went by, so even with the lines, we should,
You're not gonna get that.
I know.
Yeah.
We do have to take rock. We're gonna take rock down there where the two dirt spots are in between the road and the sidewalk. We're gonna fill that in with gravel. And just,
Mean right here on the main drag.
No, south of the pizza place.
yeah.
There's two places that were always dirt,
Yeah.
so that they can't pave over dirt.
No.
So we actually have some asphalt milling. I've been meaning to take down there because they're black. It'll look nice. It'll look the same. I don't have time lately. I'm hoping next week when I'm off work, I'll go down and do it.
Well, the main drag really needed it. I'm glad the county finally, come up with some money to,
Yeah,
and they done it up there with Tree Spring Farm too, going across,
Yeah.
that was nice because that had gotten
I
really
wonder,
bad.
are they ever, I know there's only one house up there by the pond where you turn and go to New 63.
Yeah, but that one needs.
You wonder, are they ever gonna do that? That is.
I hope.
The school bus used to go through that route. I don't know if he still does.
Yeah, I don't know. That's a question for the county because that is a rough section. A lot of people use that actually. I mean, even though there's only one house, it's used a lot.
I used to, but I'll go on the fertilizer road now.
Yeah, because that's nice and
I
smooth.
mean, that's just like a tabletop smooth.
Troy, how about a police report before I read the next one?
Had illegal dumping at the Handy Mart earlier this month. My actual stuff is all, had a really busy weekend with the Newport Hill Climb, plus an incident last night for down Clinton. If you guys haven't heard about it, you will. But the gentleman that did the illegal dumping, he was trespassing on the property, and unfortunately, he's no longer with us. He passed away last week.
Oh.
Lived at the Vermillion Manor, or the Highland Manor there, so. Traffic complaints. I sat out here, ran traffic several different days. Really didn't have anybody speeding. Those complaints, I was getting consistent complaints, and I'm assuming I missed the with people doing it. I don't know if it was semi trucks because of the harvest season, speeding, loud trucks speeding through, probably going a little bit faster, but
Yeah.
I don't see a semi doing from the strip, from the square to the edge of town. Be hard pressed to get that thing up to past 40 mile an hour.
Yeah, especially for low.
So I don't know. I'll be mindful of it, keep an eye on it. There's a couple other small complaints that I can't recall right now, but I will have that report for you guys here in the next week or so, or definitely by the next meeting I'll have a double report.
All right, sounds good.
Any concerns in the town that I need to be aware of?
Cats.
People not parking in the lines. I mean, there are lines, they could park in them.
Right? I'm telling you guys should start a page on that and like give awards for people who park in between the lines.
Yeah.
The cats, I can take care of the problem. I'm just 99.9% certain you're not going to make anybody happy when I start taking care of the problem. Some people will be fine, other people lose their mind.
Yeah.
All right. So we had the SRF loan, the SRF financing closing, pre-closing and then closing. I have some figures from that. Thought I'd share with everybody. The total cost. This is in regards to the water project, obviously. Total project cost is $2,575,166. $155,166 is cash on hand, meaning it's money we had saved up. $700,000 comes from an Okra grant. $700,000 comes from an SRF grant. $1,020 is a loan. The remaining is money that we had to pay throughout the time. There's stuff that they don't let you carry through, like the soil testing we had to pay for as we went. Our monthly payments are $6,280. We have to pay a debt service fund, so we have to create a bank account. They do it for us. That will contain $75,916, the equivalent of 1 year's worth of payments, in case the town would ever get into financial problems. Well, technically, the water department would ever get into financial problems. We have to have that. It's like gap insurance when you buy a car, kind of deal. By financing with SRF instead of a loan on our own through a bank, we saved $891,000. And that is all I have on my screenshot. Any questions I could try to answer for you?
What was that payment gonna be,
$6,280 per month.
per month?
Starting when?
I don't have that cut off. It's,
This month? Yeah.
This month.
Okay.
Yeah. I have the end date. I don't have. These are just notes that I took as we were going through. It's pretty dry call.
And all of that is part of what Darryl was asking earlier about the breakdown of, when we make a water payment, the breakdown between the maintenance and the admin fees and
Yeah.
all of that.
Yeah, I don't have all those figures, so I don't want to. I don't like to talk in relatives, but that's the figures I do have.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, it just kind of informs the public, everybody that's sucking off the water in case, so they'll be kind of educated on how the total bills,
Yeah.
what it's all going for.
Yeah.
Especially as the increases come in effect, which the new one is now, but, a year from now, we'll be paying 100 plus.
Yeah. As of a couple hours ago, we received an email that the Okra funding has been released, which is the $700,000 Okra fund. So we'll be setting up a pre-construction call that we'll have to attend to basically kick off the construction. They've already started sending out letters to people that are right in here for the tank demolition.
Oh,
They got ahead of it. started fielding people asking what day it's going to be taken down. And I'm like, what are you talking about?
Yeah,
They just basically got ahead of themselves, and you know,
sure,
as soon as the contract was awarded, they're like, oh, let's get this out of the way.
yeah.
But I'm not going to guarantee, but that tower shouldn't come down until the new one's online.
Oh, yeah.
If you see somebody over here with a blowtorch,
Yeah,
let somebody know, please.
yeah, I reckon. Do you think is there any more possibility of, you, the board, and the grant lady, is there any possibility of them getting any more money
No,
from anybody?
On this project, no.
You think it's all settled on what you're gonna get?
Yeah. We were actually up until, an hour before the last meeting,
Mm-hmm.
we were only getting the Ochre grant. And
Yeah,
then SRF come in the last couple hours of the day and threw us another 700,000.
Yeah, 15 minutes before everybody else walked in, she came in and told us that information, that we got that other $700,000 grant.
yeah,
It just, all the money just dried up. When we started the project, there were all these different grants and forgivable loans and stuff.
yeah.
They just dried up once they cut federal funding.
Well, when we started this project, the estimated cost was 1.7 million.
Is that?
So,
That included portions that we cut out.
yeah.
That's why last meeting, when I was here, I said, you need to ask, or somebody needs to put a SAG letter to Duke Energy and Eli Lilly. Eli Lilly, of course, big pharmaceutical, and I'm not against what they're successful, very successful, but they're going to spend $1 billion with a firm in India on expanding and producing even more medicine. They got money galore. Maybe they'd even, if you could send a sad letter to them, maybe they'd even donate a measly $100 grand.
Well,
These companies are loaded with, some of them with money.
I'll get into something about that here in a minute, but basically the water department is not a charitable organization. It's not a municipality or a 501c.
Yeah,
It's considered a utility.
They're only gonna donate money if they can write it off on their taxes.
Yeah, they can't write it off.
well,
So, yeah,
not even on a water project, huh?
no, because like I said, it's a utility.
Huh.
In the state of Indiana, a water department is considered a utility. It's just like an electric company.
Yeah,
And that some towns have electric companies. So unfortunately, it very much draws down our base of financing.
yeah.
So
Well, the main thing is just keep the residents informed, on how things are progressing and, what the financial situation is as we near completion of the project,
yeah,
of what the water bills might be.
as we know, we try to.
Yeah,
On to the last thing I know of. I had a call today with a crowdfunding organization that the state uses for the community center project. What we can do with this is take the money that was raised through the cruise nights, the money that anybody else donates, we put it into this, it's a crowdfunding thing, and like you and I can donate to this crowdfunding, but it's also aimed at Eli Lilly and Duke and places like that. It's only for projects like this, a community center, a park, things like that.
right.
So what we're working on is I'm asking for $15,000. So what we'll rate, and that's our initial. We can actually lower our goal. So our current goal is $15,000, which then if we meet our goal, the state then matches it.
Okay.
So they give us $15,000.
Yeah,
And the only strings attached are that we use it for the project, and then we provide receipts, accountability, things like that.
right.
And actually, I don't have exact numbers, so please don't ask. We are well on our way to that number already with the money from the cruise nights
Okay.
and some donations that we've received but not deposited yet.
Okay.
So that's all going to go toward that goal. Once the project, once it becomes active, it'll be active for 30 to 60 days. I think they usually put on the website that it's 45 days, but like she said, it's from 30 to 45 days. And she said she's had I had a pretty lengthy call this morning with the coach, and she said she's had a couple times, and specifically Eli Lilly was mentioned, that they came in and saw a project they liked, and they dropped $2 million. And I'm not saying they're going to do that, obviously, but we're going to hope for it. And she said, from everything I told her, and she wrote down, and what they do is they take our information that we gave them, they put it in, and we put our information in, write a sob story, and these companies will donate. They really liked it because their small towns are like the biggest on the radar of things they want, and community centers are the hot topic in Indiana the last decade or so. So we're going to try. The goal is to raise enough money to redo the historic front storefront, new glass, repair the wood, paint, all that stuff, make it look new again, and then frame out the inside. And then once we're done with that, we'll move on to the next grant begging process, I guess is best I can put it. So we need to, I'm trying to remember exactly how she said, but we just need to put in the notes that we all support using this crowdfunding. So I'm in full support of using it. I mean, if they're going to give us free money, it does come with a fee. Let me cover that. It's a 3% transaction fee if people use credit cards, and up to 5% of the total raised through the online portion. But she said as far as she knew, they always capped it at $800. No matter if they raised $1 million or what, it was always usually capped at $800 max. So I mean, if we can meet our goal, 15,000, and they take, I'm trying to do math, like $60 out of it.
Yeah.
I mean, if I can, and it's not like we pay the $60; it comes out the total.
None of the town money goes towards the 15,000.
No town money goes toward it. It's all donation, all raised money.
This is all donation and raised money for the Opera House. It really doesn't have anything to do with the town itself.
No tax money, no bills to the residents, no anything like that. It's free will.
Yeah.
Hopefully free will of some big companies.
And do you have a dedicated account for the money?
Yeah, we have an Opera House fund. It's called Opera House Fund.
Yeah, great.
And they're working on getting a 501(c) set up for it.
Yeah, I've got to get back with the attorney on that, and I've got to he'll do portion of it, but I have the actual legal, this sounds funny, the attorney won't do the actual legal filing. I have to do the actual legal filing, or one of us, Misty, has to do the actual legal filing for it.
What are the plans on what kind of entertainment or whatever? What's your projections on what you're going to accomplish on the main floor?
Well, that will be office space, museum space, rental space, food pantry, lending library. We have the little boxes out front right now.
Yeah.
It'd be nice to have a closet in there. We'll have a town office space in there. We'll have a space that we can use for vaccination clinics, or I'm trying to think of all the things that other towns do. They do mobile food pantries, vaccination clinics. There's been several different outreaches that are they happen down in Clinton because Clinton has a place for it.
Yeah.
But they don't come up here, and I've called and asked. They said, well, you have to have does the town have a space?
Oh.
We don't. We were able to get a vaccination clinic in here one time. It's free, free vaccines. Get your flu vaccine, your COVID shot, what have you. But we have to have a space for this, and we currently don't have the town has no space. So we'll have a room for that. And then, you know, like I said, rentals for if you got a party or whatever. And then obviously there'll be bathrooms and things like that.
Yeah.
So, we don't actually have to take a vote, we just have to say that if we support it. So, y'all do?
Yep.
Yeah.
We've actually had a lot of really cool stuff donated to put into the community center that's come from Perrysville.
We have a lot of stuff waiting on us to have a space for it.
Yeah.
In case you guys don't know, we have the original piano
Yeah.
that was given back to us from Newport.
Uh-huh.
Bob Ping was actually here last Thursday, and he was telling me how he won that piano, and I back to our building, so I had to take him in and show him the piano that we already had.
Who's gonna manage all that over there?
Well, that
Anybody gonna manage the, activities going on there?
There's gonna need to be a board set up just for the 5013.
I didn't know if portions of it was gonna be like a little youth center to keep these kids out, kids out of trouble and make it a fun place, and maybe portions of it, I didn't know what.
well, that would be the outreach kind of thing. So I mean, last week I went down to a paint night with my family down at the library,
Yeah,
and I mean that's all ran by volunteer, and that's something we can do here. There's always teenagers needing volunteer hours to
okay.
man things like that. I've actually had a few residents reach out and say, "Hey, I'd like to put on this kind of thing. Do you have a place for it?" It's like, no, but I'd love to do it.
Sure.
So hopefully we can.
Hopefully in due time it'll work out.
Yeah, we're trying. Like I said, we're trying to do it as as much as volunteer money and stuff as we can, and volunteer work. Right now, I've got scaffolding set up in there to knock down the ceiling on the north side.
Yeah.
I started working on it myself. I've got a guy that wants to come in and start working on it. So we've had a lot of interest.
Do we want to go ahead and talk about that? Go
Is there a non-profit or anything for that, for the Opera House?
Not yet.
Not yet, okay.
No, that's the attorney's got to do a portion,
Yeah.
and then we've got to actually file it with the IRS.
Okay, that's what I was saying, I can submit stuff at work, but I have to have a non-profit deal. It's like, at work with the email and stuff, I can just send it in, but if they don't have a non-profit, they won't even take it.
Yeah, I've got the same thing.
Yeah.
I just got done setting one up for the wrestling club in Covington.
Yeah.
It's like a year-long process.
Yeah, we're doing
It's
one
a
for
me-
track
okay.
baseball, so
It's
I
a
know.
mess, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
And it costs a
Like
chunk of
$500,
money.
$500 or
Yeah.
$600, I think, just to
Yeah,
have a non-profit.
yeah,
Takes
I know.
anything to have a nonprofit.
That always cracks me up.
yeah.
Cost to be nonprofit. All right, I have nothing else that I remember right now. Does anyone else have any public comments on anything? With nothing else, I'll motion to adjourn. Seconded, all in favor?
Second to it.
Me,
All in favor?